Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations, and in today's video we're gonna be diving back into a video that I made roughly 2 months ago, but we're gonna be redoing it. We had a bunch of new cookies added into the game, new content added into the game, and so for today's video I'm gonna be bringing you guys my top 5 cookies that every single Cookie Run Kingdom player should be building and focusing on. All right, so without further ado, let's dive right in. Diving right in, ladies and gentlemen, the first cookie we've got on this list is going to be none other than Dark Choco Cookie. I mean, come on, let's be honest. It's pretty self-explanatory, right? I mean, it's Dark Choco Cookie. If you're new to the game, you're just jumping in here, and you're unsure what cookies to really focus on or run, Dark Choco is a must. I still 100% stand behind this guy, even with all of the new cookies that have dropped, just purely because of his skill, right? If you don't already know, his skill is going to be an AoE defense break, which is huge in this game, because you're basically reducing the enemy's defenses, which then allows them to take more damage. In essence, your cookies are doing more damage to the enemies, killing them faster, and you pretty much just win, right? GG, game over. Dark Choco 100% needs to be built by every player in this game, no questions asked. All right, now moving right along to his toppings of choice, and for me personally, and for most people in the community that have built him, solid almonds are going to be the best way to go. All right, solid almonds are going to give him damage resistance for completing the set, so 100% run all of them, get that set bonus of additional 5%. Some of the substats that you are looking for that you could pick up on would be like additional attack, your additional damage resistance, and then also your cooldown reduction, right? Because obviously what we're doing with damage resistance is trying to keep him alive longer, which, you know, again, is what you need. But not only that, focusing on some of those cooldown substats will allow his cooldown on his skill to be lower, so that way you can utilize his skill, aka the defense break, which is what makes this cookie more often. All right, so again, 100% don't sleep on Dark Choco. That's gonna be number 1 on my top 5 cookies that every player should be building. Moving right along to the second cookie we have on this list, and that is gonna be none other than Vampire Cookie, right? Vampire Cookie, if you don't already know, is the best single target damage dealer in the game, no matter what. Zero questions asked, boom, bada bing. This guy literally does so much damage. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I have not seen a single cookie yet outbeat a max level vampire. All right, when it comes to single target damage dealing in the game, his skill is just absolutely broken. All right, he basically is a vampire as he is, and not only that, he's pretty much gaining HP the more damage he does. So obviously, when it comes to building on specific toppings, you want to run Searing Raspberries, right? You want to have the most attack on Vampire 100%, because he's going to get the most healing back from doing more damage. And not only that, he's a single target nuker basically, so you want to be building this guy on a full attack build. Again, when it comes to certain substats, you want to focus on things like additional attack, also damage resistance if you need to, and then last but not least, that cooldown reduction, man, is going to make a world of difference on able to utilizing his skill multiple times. And specifically in something like the guild boss battle, if you were trying to do 2 vampire attacks on the guild boss to get that maximum damage, man, it's absolutely ridiculous. All right, so again, 100% every player in the game needs to be building a vampire, even if it's not your first cookie and you have a couple of other damage dealers that are good in the game. I still highly recommend to build a vampire. Number 3 on this list is going to bring us to Pure Vanilla Cookie. All right, so Pure Vanilla Cookie 100%, if you don't already know, is the best healer in the game currently right now. However, it is still going to be a rare cookie, and what I mean by that is its basically percentage to drop in the normal banner is a lot lower compared to some of the other epics that you can get. All right, so aka Herb Cookie. All right, so we're gonna be kind of doing this together. Herb and Pure Vanilla would be fitting this slot. Pure Vanilla, 100% the best option. If you don't have a Pure Vanilla, which a lot of people don't have, then Herb obviously would be the next best choice. Again, both of these cookies are going to be healers. However, they are vastly different. All right, so Herb 100% is going to be an AoE healer for your entire team, and it's going to be a rejuvenation heal. All right, so if you check out what this means, basically he pops off a heal. It's going to heal your cookies over time, a little bit at a time, to then get to the total total amount of healing that he's going to do when you utilize his skill, all right? When you take a look at somebody like Pure Vanilla is going to be a instant burst healer. So basically, he pops off his skill, it's going to basically instantly heal all of your cookies that are on your team, but additionally, he also provides a shield buff, which then pretty much just, again, adds to additional survivability. Your cookies are living longer, they're still being able to do damage to the enemies, and aka surviving and living and pushing on. So again, Pure Vanilla, 100% the best option here. Everybody should be building one if you happen to get a copy of them. However, if you don't, the option you should be building and every player should be building would be an herb cookie, all right? Because again, herb is a lot easier to obtain through the gacha system. You can then do more promotions, and basically last but not least, when it comes to toppings, we've already got herb pulled up here on screen. Because healing in this game is scaled off of attack percent, running Searing Raspberries on herb is 100% going to be the best option. Again, the exact same substats, the attack, cooldown reduction, and damage resistance are going to be the three best options for herb, specifically running into the attack and cooldown as the first main two, and the damage resistance if you just happen to get it, because it just adds to their survivability. When it comes to Pure Vanilla, though, Pure Vanilla is going to be a little bit different because his healing and his shield ability, you want to utilize those more often because his heal is going to be an instant heal and not an over time heal like herbs. Running a cooldown reduction, basically a swift chocolate set, is going to be the best option for Pure Vanilla. Again, focusing on, instead of attack, focusing on cooldown reduction, additionally for substats, then attack, then last but not least, that damage resistance. So then hopefully just add to a little bit to their survivability. But basically, when it comes to Pure Vanilla, your main focus is to get that cooldown as low as possible to make sure that you can utilize his skill more often and take advantage of the shield. Moving right along to cookie number 4 on this list that I've got for you guys, and that's going to be Licorice Cookie. Licorice Cookie, again, going to be one of those staple cookies that no matter what, you should be building in this game, just because he can pretty much cover all content in the game. If you guys haven't noticed a trend here, man, all of these cookies that I'm showing you guys today are not only here because of their skill and how useful they are, they're also here because they are staple cookies. These cookies are going to be cookies that you can invest experience jellies in and then utilize across all content in the game. So basically, you're getting more bang for your buck when it comes to utilizing experience jellies, and you're not wasting them on a cookie that you can only use for one specific type of content. All right, so 100% get yourself a copy of Licorice if you're new to the game. If you've already built a copy of Licorice, then you definitely should be utilizing him, just because his skill is ridiculous, right? He basically summons 2 servants. These servants act as tanks, which again, he's a magic cookie, which is weird that he acts as a tank, but again, utilizing Licorice pretty much solves your tank problem. You don't need to run a tank for the most part when it comes to the game content, because you're utilizing Licorice in the servants. All right, so again, really nice. When it comes to toppings for Licorice, again, we're going to be focusing on swift chocolates, just like we were for Pure Vanilla, because you want to be able to utilize the skill as much as possible. You want those servants up constantly. All right, so again, you're going to be focusing on cooldown reduction to further reduce the cost of his skill, so then you can pop off his skill more. And then secondly would be that additional attack, so his servants do more damage. And then last but not least, that damage resistance, just basically to add to his survivability. But man, 100% pick up a copy of Licorice. I've got mine at a cooldown of 17.4% with his toppings, and it's absolutely ridiculous, and he does awesome damage, and I only have him at level 50. We still got 10 levels to go until we're max, all right? So don't sleep on a Licorice. 100% deserves to be on this list. Alrighty, now last but not least, Cookie Slot when it comes to our top 5 list, and that's going to bring us to Espresso Cookie, Black Raisin Cookie, or a latte cookie. All right, now wait a second, hold on. I know I said 5 cookies, right? And I just named 3 of them in the 5th slot, and it's for a good reason. All right, it's very good reason. So here's the thing, basically when it came to this list, right, I tried to focus in on what the cookies slot would be or role on any team composition. All right, so the slot 5 for me basically is AoE damage dealer, and because of that, there are 3 main AoE damage dealers that I personally think are the best best in the game that you can pretty much utilize across any team composition no matter what. And the first one obviously is going to be Espresso, right? Most people that have been playing the game since day one have been building an Espresso for quite some time, all right? However, it's not the only option, all right? Because a lot of players that are diving into the game for the very first time might get themselves a Black Raisin cookie first. And again, Black Raisin time and time again has been proven to do more damage, or at least put out more damage when it comes to burst damage, and that's going to be over Espresso, all right? So again, 100% utilize either one of them. If you happen to get both of them, congratulations. Pick and choose what you want to do based on the other cookies that you're building for a team comp, but nevertheless, do not sleep on Black Raisin either. And then last but not least that I want to mention is going to be Latte Cookie, all right? Again, a very, very good AoE damage dealing cookie, okay? The only downside when it comes to Latte that puts, in my opinion, Espresso and Black Raisin above is going to be Latte's damage takes a little bit to kick up, all right? So what I mean by that is it pretty much throws a, whirlpool on the ground, doing a lot of damage, sucking enemies to its core. Now, it's a really, really good ability, but I think where Latte really shines is actually going to be the silence and the immobilized, all right? So if you look down here at the bottom in the gray, silencing them for 1 second and immobilizing them for 5 seconds, all right? I think both of those are what really makes Latte shine, but if you took those out of the skill, it's going to be doing AoE damage, but I don't know if it really competes as a fast AoE burst damage dealer like Espresso and Black Raisin do, all right? But again, we're already on Latte. When it comes to running a topping set for Latte Cookie, there's two different options. The main one, in my opinion, is going to be Searing Raspberries. You're wanting to do more attack damage because it takes Latte a little bit of time to pop off that damage, because the skill is over time. Basically, running Searing Raspberries is only going to aid in the amount of damage output, all right? So that's why I think that's the best option. The second one would obviously be the Swift Chocolate set, which again are going to be, the cooldown reduction set. Again, just to allow the ability to utilize her skill more often. But like I said, she's going to take a little bit for the damage to actually kick in. And with that being said, I think the attack set is going to be the best for her. However, when we jump into Espresso, again, his damage is pretty much going to be very similar to Latte's, where it sucks the enemies into its center and it's doing damage the entire time. And then at the end of it, it does one final explosion. The difference is with Latte and Espresso is a burst damage dealer. So the damage is going to pop off immediately, one and done, and it's over with. With Latte, its ability lays on the ground, does damage over time, which again is really nice. But when it comes to Espresso, the only one that I think is the best topping set to use is going to be Searing Raspberries, because again, his main focus is DPS and putting out a ton of AoE DPS. So with that being said, Searing Raspberries, again, when it comes to the cooldown again, when it comes to the substats, you're going to be wanting to focus on the additional attack, the cooldown reduction, and then that damage resistance, all right? Because again, you just want to make sure you're giving them an additional attack just to do more damage, additional cooldown to get their skills off more and often, and then also that damage reduction, which is going to then help them with surviving, all right? So again, really, really good cookie. And then last but not least, when it comes to Black Raisin, I am also running him on a Searing Raspberry set. Now, I'm currently not utilizing Black Raisin in my main team lineup because I did pull him later on. But again, you building him on a full attack set is only going to help. You could probably swap in maybe like a subset of cooldown if you really needed it. But at the end of the day, focusing on a Searing Raspberry set with cooldown substats is probably going to be the best way to go when it comes to running Black Raisin. You guys let me know if you have built Black Raisin on any other topping sets and what you guys' thoughts are down below in the comments. I'd love to hear what you got to say. But that's going to be pretty much it for me, ladies and gentlemen, for the video. I just wanted to bring you guys my top 5 cookies that I think every single player should be building in Cookie Run Kingdom no matter what, all right? So you guys let me know down below in the comments what you guys' thoughts on the overall cookies. Do you disagree with some of these cookies? And if so, who would you put on this list and why? Because any information that you give is only going to help out the community. So with that being said, as always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get a notification every time we drop a video. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one.